Let's take the conversation now to Zambia, where the corruption trial of the former First Lady, Esther Lungu, and four others has been set for November 27th. And we bring in Zambian journalist and editor, Kapembwa Mabuluki. Good morning, and thank you for joining us once again.
Good morning. I think everything has stabilized now.
Great. It's good to have you back.
It's similar to the morning of May 3rd this year, 2023, when woke up the news of heavy police presence outside the residence of former President Edgar Lungu at his residence in Ibex Hill. So, to give a bit of background and context, I think as 2023 unfolds, as we approach the trial date, this was the beginning of the said case in question. And legally, I believe, not only in Zambia, but the world over and in Nigeria included, the law operates on a basis of innocent until proven guilty. So if I give a bit more background, last year in July, in 2022, the First Lady again was summoned by the Drug Enforcement Commission and was questioned in regard to 15 houses. That seemed to have died down until the morning in question of May 3rd, when the police surrounded President Edgar Lungu's house, and there was a heavy police presence. Now, according to the police report, or what was issued by Makebi Zulu Esquire, who's the lawyer representing the former First Lady and is our attorney, he said there's a lot of misinformation surrounding this case, and she's a victim in all this. So that's the genesis of all this. And on the day of May 3rd, they were actually wanted to enter the premises and look for the alleged motor vehicles in question, which are now also part of the charge sheet and part of the case in which the former First Lady will appear on the 27th of this month in court. Now, following that situation, we then had the former First Lady appear. I just want to get the dates correctly. On 5th September, she appeared before the police for questioning and possible arrest. Of course, she hasn't been arrested and she's out. So those have been the issues surrounding the former First Lady's case. So there's the question of the $400,000 cash, the seizure of a title deed, and the motor vehicles in question. Of course, there was a lot of speculation on May 3rd, but the air has since been cleared, and it is public information that, in fact, it was the niece of then former First Lady Miss Esther Lungu, who was the complainant in the said case. And so the former First Lady, as things stand, will have her day in court on the 27th of November. Party well-wishers of the former ruling party, the Patriotic Front, and strong support of the First Lady. However, as of this week, there have been developments around the former ruling party, the Patriotic Front, as well as, you aptly put it, the announcement of the return to active politics of former Republican President Edgar Lungu, the sixth Republican president of Zambia. Now, his announcement of his return to politics has been met by mixed reviews, because as things stand now, the Patriotic Front now has two camps. There's the Maus Waliasampa camp, who was duly elected as party president as things stand. But when we take a look at the party constitution as well as their process, there were things that were not followed accordingly. Therefore, Edgar Lungu went on Yes, please. Go ahead.
Just to ask, because we're running out of time. I wanted to
Yes,
ask.
yes.
There's people who argue that this is a witch hunt, targeted at Edgar Lungu, to maybe deter him from contesting again. So, is there a possibility of some truth in that? And also, has Esther Lungu always been known, with these bits and pieces of corruption allegations here and there in the time when she was First Lady and, even after?
Well, I'll answer your question in two parts as you've posed it. As far as a witch hunt, as I earlier stated, according to the facts that have been brought before the court and according to the case that she'll appear for on the 27th, she's been charged. So at this point, the charge is an allegation. There's no concrete evidence of her being corrupt per se. And as I said, the last time we saw the former First Lady appear was in July 2022. So things have been fairly quiet after that. And as you had already alluded when we started the report, you had spoken about this sort of thing happening a lot on the continent. I believe it happened in Angola to Dos Santos's daughter. So as things stand now, I continue to monitor the case as you do too. But there's some truth, I suppose, to saying it's a witch hunt because her supporters have been very vigilant. But also the former First Lady has been known as a very prayerful woman and as a very quiet woman, not very involved in politics, but more a lady involved in a lot of goodwill and helping people. So as with all things, there's always two camps and two sides to the coin.
Yeah.
We wait to have a day in court. So as far as the witch hunt allegations go, well, it's a case of hearsay and opinion. And as far as the corruption allegations go, so we wait to see what happens when the facts are presented.
All right. We, of course, like you said, we'll wait to see what happens. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to getting updates from Zambia as regards the elections. And we, of course, want to see how this turns out. But, I think on a final note, would you say that Edgar Lungu's, how would you rate the reception of his announcement of coming back to run for office? Would you say that the majority of Zambians are excited about this? And, how would you rate the announcement, the announcement of his return, as well as, Hakainde Hichilema's response to all of this?
Okay, so I'll begin with the last part of the question, which is Hakainde Hichilema's response. He's been very civil in his response and has said, and through his party as well, has issued statements that will allow the rule of law to proceed. So the law will take its course. Of course, there are laws in place and also things that will follow in terms of issues such as his immunity, which have come on the table. There's issues of his benefits, which have come on the table, and what a former president is entitled to, who is not active in politics. So we'll wait and see how that unfolds. In regards to the reception, I monitor both social media platforms as well as popular media. On social media, of course, there's the youth, which was the huge voting demographic in the 2021 general elections. Their reception has generally been one of humor in their posts, but also there's a seriousness towards their discontent to perhaps his term in office. And then there's the people who are, of course, supporters of the former ruling party and supporters of Edgar Lungu, who have met it with jubilation. Suffice to say, the party vice president, Given Lubinda, and of course Edgar Lungu's followers are in jubilation in his return to politics. So the news is fresh. It hasn't even been a week, so we'll wait to see how it unfolds. But it's been met with mixed feelings. Mixed feelings would be an accurate description of how people have received his return to active politics, and also what follows next.
Yeah, well, We'll see, and of course, we hope that, of course, there's some sanity and some clarity with these things. But of course, the judicial system in Zambia must work. And if Esther Lungu did commit these crimes that she's being charged with, what will a situation like that be? Or what would it look like if she is being sentenced to serve jail time? How would that look for Zambia?
Well, to my memory, the one time I can recall a woman who once held office serving a jail sentence was then former Minister of Natural Resources, if I'm not mistaken, and she served time for having issued illegal land. So as far as our judicial system goes, it's a fair judicial system, and we do follow the rule of law as a country. So if she's guilty of any crime, come her day in court on the 27th, it will be handled accordingly. And it is important to note and also comment that the immunity does not extend to the president's immediate family or spouse. The immunity is uniquely a privilege accorded to the president. So this is the reason why a trial date has been set. This is the reason why I should appear before court and the law will take its course. So as things stand now, the situation is volatile to some extent, but not volatility that can cause any instability of any sort. I think people are holding their horses, to use the expression, and people are allowing the law to unfold. Of course, our supporters will be there, and well-wishers continue to wish her well, and wait to see how the pendulum swings on the day, and how
we will also
drop.
We'll also wait and see, how things turn out. Thank you very much, Kapembwa Mabuluki. We'll be speaking with you again.
I appreciate the opportunity, and good morning to you from Lusaka. And
morning to you from Lagos, Nigeria also.